a review and prediction of Bitcoin's price for 2026 and the end of the year, the entry points it can offer us so we can get the maximum profit and efficiency from it. These are points we'll discuss today from technical and fractal views to see where Bitcoin's price trend is headed. So be sure to stay with us until the end of the video. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Well, first of all, we want to examine Bitcoin's price structure on one of its oldest charts and the various cycles it's moved through from 2013 until now, 2026. Looking at Bitcoin's price movement from a fractal view, we see in every 4-year cycle a powerful uptrend followed by a crash always in the 75 to 85% range. Meaning 4 or 5 times in the last 4 or 5 Bitcoin cycles we've seen price growth and a 70 to 85% correction. Like when? Like the year 2014 and the event that caused Bitcoin's price to drop by about 87%. Like when? Like 2018, which was 82% again, 2022 at 77%, and now in 2026, so far we've seen about a 50% price drop in Bitcoin. But one point that's very important for us, Bitcoin has a distinct concept within itself called realized price. Realized price means for every single Bitcoin mined over the years, what range the intrinsic value of each Bitcoin unit falls into. Meaning, they sum the average price from the day the first Bitcoin was produced under 1 cent until today, trading at over $80,000, divide by the total Bitcoins, and find the intrinsic value. Now, this realized price range this year in 2026 is in the $54,000 range, a range we haven't reached yet and are still some distance from. Now, what happened in previous cycles? In previous cycles, we've always had price penetration to the realized price depth. The price went lower than that and then had a magnificent comeback, building a powerful uptrend. Now, the same thing is likely to happen for Bitcoin again, and for this reason and from a fractal view, we expect a further drop. Now, the fractal perspective isn't a complete view for us. We want to go and see what its price chart looks like, what its current price trend is like in the weekly, 4-hour, daily, and 1-hour time frames, and what expectations we have and what buy points we see. So let's go to the chart together. Before we talk about Bitcoin's lower time frames, look at this BLX chart. BLX is the oldest Bitcoin chart we have access to in TradingView. You see that the upward price movements and waves formed by Bitcoin have shown less and less slope over time and have shown less power and momentum. True, the price growth was higher numerically in arithmetic terms. If I switch this chart to arithmetic mode, you'll see a graph like this where the price legs have become longer and longer. But the correct view in high time frames is to decide based on the logarithmic view and its logarithmic growth. We see that the waves have lost their strength more and more, but it has still managed to maintain its dominant upward movement and continue towards higher prices. Now, regardless of technical or fractal discussions, we see that we can still expect a correction to this range and another upward wave for Bitcoin in the coming years. But where should our entry point be now? I'm going to the BTC USDT chart on the Binance exchange, which is the most reliable spot chart for buying and selling Bitcoin. Since 2017, we've had the Bitcoin price chart on the Binance exchange, and we can find important entry points together using this chart. Well, we saw a market movement that started around 2023 and managed to grow to the $122,000 range in the weekly time frame. Now, after that, the price has been involved in a correction. Look, in this area, meaning our previous all-time high, the previous price ceiling we had for Bitcoin, we have a specific range where the price struggled to break through. And now, with the return to that price range, we see very good support for the Bitcoin price, and it won't be broken downwards easily. Where? Here, meaning the range between $61,000 to $66,000. So that was its pullback range. The classic technical view tells us that after a successful pullback to this level in the high time frame, we should again expect an upward movement and further growth. But Bitcoin is beyond predictions, beyond the classic view, and it always determines its price trend based on news data and news related to itself. Now let's see that in the weekly time frame, regardless of the $63,000 range, which is our pullback range, further down at this point, we have an order block in the weekly time frame that the price could approach. Meaning, while it's true we expect the realized price or $54,000 to be touched, where is this drop going to bottom out? I think this price drop will be contained in the $39,000 to $48,000 range, given the weekly order block we have and the fulfillment of the drop amount we've seen in every Bitcoin cycle. And after that, the downward movement will end and we'll see the start of an upward movement for Bitcoin. So we should consider this range as an important one. Now, where's the other point? The other point is that in a lower time frame like the 3-day time frame, if we look at it, Bitcoin's price trend has changed from an upward trend to a downward trend. In fact, it has broken its upward trend downwards. The price trend that continued from 2023 to 2025, we saw price growth in the market and Bitcoin from the $16,000 range to the $120,000 range. Now this trend has broken downwards and it's only made one downward leg. We should expect one or two more downward legs from the market on the 3-day and weekly time frames, looking for good price points. So one of the points that was valuable for us is the $38,000 to $48,000 range. Now on average, I want to tell you that $45,000 is a range that's suitable for buying an entry. Also, our realized price or the $54,000 range can also be a reasonable number for buying. So these are the two entry points we see for the year 2026 if you want to buy and hold Bitcoin for the medium and long term. Let's also have a smaller analysis for a lower time frame of Bitcoin. With the downward trend that Bitcoin started around a few months ago from 120 downwards, we're still seeing a price drop. Now, and at this moment we are at a very important point. In what sense? In the sense that this red range I'm marking for you here, meaning the $73,000 to $76,000 range, was our trading node area. It was an area that hitting it many times, it tried to break upwards. After the upward break, it had both a lower time frame pullback and a higher time frame pullback and created an upward movement. Again, in the drop to this area, by approaching this area, it had an upward price rejection. After it went lower, it was able to stabilize itself well below this price, but now it's had an upward movement. This upward movement has one meaning for me. Its meaning is that it can continue its upward movement even to the corrective order block in the $89,000 range and start the continuation of its downward path there. So in the lower time frame, we can expect an upward movement from Bitcoin up to 89 and then a drop towards our entry points for the year 2026. Like, comment, and subscribe give us energy, so don't deprive us of this kindness.